You liking me hat? You love me hat? You loving me hat? You love me? You love me? That's a YouTube. Oh, greetings, beautiful people. I love that was some video on YouTube. Greetings, said divine intentions that this reach all souls around the world, everywhere. Mm. You love me, Dad? You love me? Yes, I love you. It's a video, but anywho, greetings, peace and blessing. You love Tree Crown? I love you. You love you. Blessings, clarity. Let me go ahead and self-reflect on this. So, spirits like your childhood trauma. You know those very things you loved to do when you were younger. So let me say this to someone. It doesn't matter if your voice, if you got confidence. You know, there's a saying, sing like no one's watching. Is that what it is? Or even if they're watching, sing like no one is there. Who cares? So that being said, when I was younger, growing up in the church, growing up in the church, a lot of stuff I did not want to do. I did not care for. As I grew into my spirituality, I was always rebellious. I was always never wanting to be like anyone else. I never wanted to be like no one but me. That being said, my grandmother used to, I say, drag us to church. She stayed on us like, get in church, come on. Let's see, I'll give y'all a little go down memory lane. We used to have to get up. And you know what? I give gratitude to all the mothers, man. All the mothers and fathers, but most importantly, I say mothers that had to, the women per se that had to raise a lot of kids on their own, even like, and I just be trying. Authenticity is everything. At the moment, my mom, the mom that I came through, had her choice, her free will was to do drugs, and at that moment, a lot of my grandmother had she had the courage and will and the strength as a warrior to raise, at the moment, I think it was 6 or 7 grandkids. Yes, one woman. And it's amazing how she used to get up and clean for, get us all ready for school. Some were, my mother, 3 kids, and then my aunt had other kids. But it was just showing how responsible or how courageous a lot of our women have been. So if you ever wonder why a lot of our women per se, if you want to, the title of African American, but really, or black, none of these titles really matter. It's truly the strength that has been passed down from our ancestors, how resilient and powerful our matriarchal is. Being that originally we all come from a woman that is pretty much darker, or from a darker hue, and that's scientifically, if you want to look into it, they call it the mitochondrial gene. And again, it's not to take anything away from any culture or anyone. It's to say that the strength that comes from the darkness, and then to see your light and still to press forward. I'm just grateful for my ancestors, especially the matriarchal. How could I have been a man or walking in this masculinity, or to become the warrior, the leader, or to even embrace this fearlessness without first knowing where it originally come from. The roots of and the origins of my great grandmothers, or my ancient mothers, and even the fathers. But the matriarchal is very vital, and that's what we're coming into the remembrance of. And so I'm truly grateful for all the women, my sisters, my mother. I call I do have what I call, some of us know that we call them godmothers, which is people that come into our lives and have a profound impact on who we are and as men and women, or young men and young kings. I want to express this to a lot of men, and this is going to tie into what I'm also expressing, is that it's very important who the women you have in your life and how they are pouring into your life. Same goes for women. It's very vital what men you have in your life, because as much as we unconsciously are not aware, consciously, it what has been programmed, or subconsciously, which is in the darkness, we consciously do now. And some of us, when we are not aware of what we do consciously, we unconsciously project, if that makes sense. I feel like it all makes sense. But it's basically saying what we've learned and been programmed in our subconscious in the darkness through our connections with our fathers, whomever that was, in the beginning of our connection or existence here, or, since childhood. That, in essence, since this moment plays a major part in who we are and what we are becoming now, and walking in that authority and leadership quality, leadership, or how we're acting out or expressing our through our actions and everything we do now. So that being said, even through like the dark moments of like my grandmother, like I said, I come from warriors. Like, I had to see my mother in relationships where not only was she abused, but there was a moment where she was actually shot and survived. My grandmother, her mother, was actually shot and survived. I learned through learning about my connection with my mother's mother, and after her mother transitioned, how she was also in an abusive relationship, or just so many things that were going on. And like I said, man, this stuff has been passed on, and a lot of which our ancestors survived. We now, what they survived, they chose us now to not only live through, but honoring the ancestors, and what they've done is allow us to emerge out of the darkness. The demons and the things they didn't want to acknowledge is for us to acknowledge now. And that's where the healing begins. Is the acceptance of the darkness. And the accepting of that darkness is to emerge out of the light. And so even if, let's say, if I had a son or a daughter or all these things, is that there is a mirror teaching me what my, like recently, like I just seeing the connections on how my how is my relationship with my grandmother, or how is my relationship with my mother, is in a reflection of what my relationship would be with my partner, in a way, in the daughter that I have. And that's because it teaches me, is mirrored back to me, the divine feminine aspect of who I am, the divine feminine traits that I carry. And it's showing me what I need to heal there, what is unhealed, or what is still a wound, or what certain things still fall in our family. So I'm telling you, it gets so much deeper. And so those that do have kids, you are not only just their guardian, but they are guardians of you too. So just, like I said, it gets so deeper. Just self-reflect on, look into your matriarchal, man. This is important for our men. It's like your connections and your reflections of all men and women. Let me say this, and this is no separation. We carry these energies of divine masculine and feminine. All men have, I don't care who they are, all masculine or all men that came into this world as men, we all carry this image of a divine feminine, or of a woman. And for women that will get this will help, this will guide you into what, and not only how your partner, your husband, whomever it is, view you in this moment. Is every man however his view or perception of women is rooted in whatever his experience has been in his childhood, leading up to all relationship with women or men, you know, however their experience had been up to this very moment. Even with women too. They all have this image or this idea or this perception on what men either should be, how they can be, you know, all these things, whether it be, and they learn this from a childhood. This is why you're seeing this perception on how women view men and how they're supposed to bring this to the table, or how this person's to bring this to the table, when truthfully your table has already been set. You get what I'm saying? Certain things that, let's say you created this table, certain things had to be destroyed because certain people are not even supposed to be eating at your table. So you had to learn when these relationships were removed, and we learned this through childhood and all these traumas that we've carried and know all this baggage. We learned to unpack it. Get what I'm saying? Got you. So if you're at this age right now and it's a new beginning for you, it's a rebirth that you're experiencing. You had to learn to unpack how many people you are attracting, and those that really been with you through those darkest moments. You're going to be with yourself, but really see who believed and trusted in your journey and helped you unpack. And that's why we attract what some may call these karmic, you know, all these lessons or whatever. But truthfully, they are mirroring to help you unpack your darkest secrets. They're helping you unpack all these things, you know, these lists of things that, again, has been covered up. So a lot of this is purposeful, okay? Just think or just assume like your mother was, or your grandpa, or this person was supposed to do these very things that you were supposed to do. So when you acknowledge it and it's triggering for them, it's because they don't want their illusion broken. And notice how we have been the ones to illuminate and shine light. As you become more illuminated, you shine light on others people's darkness that they tend to want to hide or assume that they can hide. That's what spirituality is that we're being able to see what's going on and see through the veil and see through people's bull crap. So, man, this video wasn't even supposed to be like this. I actually have a song that I've written, or actually I had another divine soul who actually co-created this with me, or I collaborated. But man, I don't went into a whole nother thing, but the truth is, it's like, just know that it's man, it's amazing. Just everything is aligned. Everything is aligned, and everything happens purposefully. And so the truth of it all is that just take a moment leading up to this full moon. Full moons are about celebration. It's also about releasing, and it's helping us see the both sides to everything, and helping us learning whether we're finding value or seeking value, and seeing that wholeness in who we are now leading up to this full moon. But it's helping us see the how the dark and light aspect has to coincide or coexist with everything. And so that being said, it's like I'm over here self-reflecting on the fact of like I had to grow up in the church. I had to see the illusion of control. I had to see all that stuff growing up now to walk in this to affirm and confirm and walk in this spiritual light, and walk in that confidence, knowing that, you know, all that had to happen. You know, going to the church, why all this had to happen, man. I'm like, bruh, singing on the choir. And it's like, you're seeing now that everyone now wants to truly be free, do what they really want to do. And so now we're witnessing how certain people and families or whatever it is still are carrying those attachments. They want to hold on to those very things that, again, it's really doing them no justice. But still, they're going to have to face divine justice, which has everything to do with the spirit. And so that's why I'm just truly grateful. Oh man, I don't know. I was maybe it's the hat. I don't. I feel amazing, but yeah, it's truly amazing. But just know, man, everyone collectively is coming into this awareness and how not, well, everyone, yeah, collectively, but it's happening on different levels and different frequencies and learning to embrace it and surrender to the flow of all this. So yeah, as much as we can dwell on the past, let it go, let it be. As much as like, man, I'm sitting here self-reflecting, bro, on like I can tell you a lot of stuff, man. Let me tell you something, like having to grow up in uh even just that taught me a lot about honoring the divine feminine now. Honoring how lost how lost a lot of souls were and is in this moment. How a lot of people really just they're wanting to come into the light. And some people are it's truly the fear of the unknown and what's on the other side. And spirit is like, yo, like I remember, like I've always knew one thing about my journey. I've always knew that I came here. I knew it was something always with me to walk in my own, well, what spirit give me, walking that authority, walking that divinity without having a fear or worry about who's going to accept me. It's like really self-reflect, go into the depths of who you truly are and look and reflect on your journey. It doesn't even really matter the age, because a lot of these kids and certain, they have old souls. Some of them already know what they already know what they come here to do. But when I really self-reflect on my journey, man, let me tell you, we are coming out of something so let me tell you, our people are coming out of something so dark, but it's only to see the beauty. It's like, if I could just, it could seem so like, man, I'm so tired of this, but just look at it as a caterpillar. The world has been in this caterpillar, this cocoon. That's why I'll say humanity has through over time or through evolution, which as everything changes and evolves or shifts, look at it as like we've all, or humanity in its whole or totality, or has been seeking. And just imagine this, like I'm gonna give you this visual. It's been in this caterpillar, like just inching along. And then it's worked its way up. It's elevating the world to this place of like as of now, let's say, look at now. Look at how they call it the phases, different phases, right? What does a butterfly go through? It goes through its phases, like metaphysically. So it goes through these phases, but in those phases, and that cocoon is still experiencing a transformation or a shift, or no one really knows. And this is what a lot of us internally have completing cycles in our life, that we know that we're elevating. And not only when the caterpillar goes up to the tree, remember the caterpillar inches on, then it works its way up the tree. So when it's at this treetop or wherever position it's in, it finds its way again, even at this place where this caterpillar is just hanging right here. It begins to see an overview. Even its perception or perspective changes when it's up in this tree. So nothing is ever the same, or nothing will ever return to the same. So when this caterpillar is up here and it's just hanging there, it surrenders it surrenders to the darkness. It surrenders to accepting the cocoon state. it leaves behind everything that's on the ground level. It surrenders and makes that choice to surrender, to inch up that tree, to find this place. Not to mention, even on its way up, it has to, who knows, birds. Remember how certain things, everything in this world is trying to survive. So as it inches up, it it evades or tried its best to avoid all these things to get to this place of awareness, to get to this place to survive. And that's just what the world has been going through. And like they say, this is what I've seen, what I've experienced with, I've experienced other cultures, but when I've grown up in certain places, my experience is seeing people that more say look like me. This is what I've noticed what they have experienced. They've been going through all these dark moments. People that look like me, the women that look like me, and then the world has just, oh, they're just these evil and crazy and da 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 people. But not knowing that these people are just trying to, which we're coming into now is realizing, is that at one point we were at the bottom of the tree and, this caterpillar, you know, um, just at this level. And we were just perceiving that's all it was. But then now we're learning to surrender to what we're called here to do. And so as we elevate into this tree, we're able to see now at a higher level of awareness that, wow, everything is different here. Then as it gets to this place, then it surrenders and it goes in this cocoon. Now when we go to this cocoon, it's like we're going into solitude. We're going into solitude with ourselves. Now we're able to sit with all those childhood traumas and experiences with everyone, with ourselves, and we have to surrender to the emotions, the anger, the frustration, whatever emotions that all things that come up, in our dreams or visions, all these things, and we sit with that. Now just imagine a lot of people don't know what that is, to sit with that, to really surrender to that. So while you're here and then people are down here, caterpillar, and this caterpillar is in its cocoon, people are looking for you. Where is this person at? And just in their perspective, it's like, oh, they just walked out of my life, or I'm not going to ever see them again. But to know that this has to happen for this caterpillar to see this one. You see the cycle. So this caterpillar has to be aware, like, okay, I have to go here. I cannot always stay a caterpillar. So then when it goes through the phases in life, just like humanity, we go through the phases right now. Some people are going through phases, very few. And then when they're sitting with their darkness, they come to that realization, self-realization, like, I am the darkness, but I also am the light. And then that awareness that happens in that cocoon, no one knows at that level. No one knows here. These caterpillars or whatever here, these beings or whatever they are, no one knows what you're going through here. No one knows in that cocoon state what you're experiencing. Only those that are connected to the most high. That means you're elevating. You're at a higher place of awareness. No one knows what you're experiencing but you and your connection. As you go in that darkness and cocoon, you connect with source. You connect with the divine creator. And to what you're here to do, why you're here, and realizing that you are connected to everything here. So as you're here, then you begin to learn to sit with yourself. You're learning what patience is. You're learning all these things that this could not teach you, because you're just inching along here. Like, oh man, I gotta find something, or this survival. Because really, on this level, it's survival. You got birds, you got all these other creatures that could possibly eat you, take you out, da 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 da. But as you get here and away from all these things, it shows you. Now, as you begin to emerge, and then you come out of this state, or you go through all these, it's pretty much timeless, something metaphysically, and then you begin to grow your wings. Then you begin to find yourself again. In that, you learn your worth in this cocoon. So then, as you begin to crack out of that cocoon, you still become patient. Everything, because you're here. Everyone's still down here. Everything is new. Your mindset, your body, your soul, spirit, everything is new. So then when you crack out of it, you begin to feel your wings. And notice you don't jump or leave too soon, because if you do, that butterfly can possibly fall, boom, and break its wings. And then it will have to suffer through that because it won't be able to fly. So you have to, we're learning now what true, those that are experiencing that shadow work, that as you begin and then crack out of here, someone again is finding themselves coming into another awakening, inching up this tree. Not everyone goes in the same time, okay? And then not everyone will become a butterfly. Yeah. Do you know certain things that go, a moth also goes into a cocoon? And a moth, for what we know or what we see, is drawn to the light. You ever see moths that are drawn to light just to survive, or they're drawn to the fire, like a moth to the flame? But not everyone is a butterfly. So when you come out of that butterfly, you find your wings. And then notice a butterfly doesn't have direction. And then certain monarchs migrate around the whole world. Yes. The butterfly is not looking for acceptance from people here anymore, because it's found its value in the darkness. It's found that its value and its importance is within itself, because it sat with itself. And its connection to itself is more valuable than trying to rely on these things here. But then it still has to show people when it comes out, to show people like, look, this is who I am. So when you've gone through this stage, know that it's okay for people here not to accept you. It's supposed to be that way. But sometimes they have some people there, these caterpillars, someone in that crowd, it can be hundreds of millions, but someone will see that light, and want to become, and will then know what it is to surrender. So when you're going through this, the healing that's taking place, the being away from the world, the being away from a lot of stuff, to sit in that silence. And even in that silence is the most vulnerable you ever been. Even in that silence can be the most painful experiences. Even in that silence, it can be the most tears you ever cried. Even in that silence, it can be the most heart-wrenching thing. But you come to the awareness of self. Learning about self. Learning what it is to pour into yourself. Pour into your own cup. So remember, this is like it's the awareness. And now when we're here and then we're flying and floating and going to all these places, we're able to see. Again, you're elevated. We're able to see. We're able to see the beauty, and we're able to see the pain and the darkness and what's going on in this world. And what shows us what it truly is to continue to flap our wings, continue to float along, continue to, you ever see two butterflies dancing? It's the most beautiful thing. And I love seeing that they dance on the way up like this. One goes this other way, and this one goes this way. Only someday to maybe reconnect again. I've never in my life witnessed, well, yes I have. When I was in Ohio, I saw, to that moment, I never saw butterflies mating. And I was like, how interesting is that? Is that a caterpillar becomes a butterfly? But yo, this it. A caterpillar becomes a butterfly. So does two But a butterfly doesn't mate with a caterpillar for a caterpillar to become a butterfly. I want you to ponder on that. I saw two butterflies mating. But notice that a butterfly doesn't mate with a caterpillar for that caterpillar to become a butterfly. I mean, that's interesting. But when I saw that, I was like, wow, I never in my life saw that. I just thought that was really amazing how two butterflies are mating. But do they give birth to a cat? They give birth to a caterpillar. How amazing is that? You see the regeneration of life, how everything happens in a cycle. How amazing is that? It's just like some of the most, I know a lot of us can seem like, I want you to just look at how some people have looked at you as trash. I'm currently, and it's so funny, there's a saying like they call it trailer trash. Makes me think of the movie 8 Mile. So I don't care where I'm at around the world. Even when I was on the street, I still knew I was a king. I still knew I was something more powerful. I still knew that I was something more valuable than where I was. Even seeing people wherever they were, I still knew I was something more powerful, like an emperor or a king or a monster in a way of like being something so big, but at the same time gentle, like a gentle giant. I still knew I could see, even in my darkest moments, that I was something. My imagination would be like, "Oh, you're this everything." But let me tell you something. Even being in the biggest of mansions or biggest places in the world, even if it's a castle, even being at this moment, in this moment, traveling and then being in a trailer, it's like that saying, like trailer trash. But what they say, another man's trash, another man's trash is another man's treasure. And the truth is that your treasure is within yourself. As you begin to progress and learn to heal and love yourself, you will realize that the treasure lies within. The true treasure, the divine treasure lies within your heart. And so we learn that through forgiveness and self-discipline and through this thing we call school of life. So I'll share this with you. I love for whatever people perceive or anyone, trailer trash, the nigger, all those, anything. But let me tell you something. That same maggot, or whatever, those little white worms, just remember, those, is it a maggot? It's larvae or whatever. Some of the most disgusting things, or some of the most darkest and most nastiest, whatever it is, becomes and blossom into some of the most beautiful, or beautiful is like miraculous things in the world. A larvae blossom or turns into a ladybug. I always love that. A pearl, the process of it being in the darkness and then in a clam, something that, again, the muscle and the ickiness and stickiness of it, but then it actually forms a pearl. Same thing with a lotus, is how something in the darkest and murkiest of mud and some of the things that we can find so vile and disgusting, actually, when you know the value within yourself, is to find and know your worth, and how that is limitless and abundant, is knowing that right there, no one can come to you or anything can say, oh, this is what you're worth. No. I found something within me that no man or nothing can place any type of value on, whether it be money or anything material. So this is for you. Know that you're everything you have experienced and are experiencing. It's just like the process of how men and women come together and create and co-create. Know that your children are not in vain. Know that your purpose is not in vain. Know that your path is not in vain. Certain things you go through in the dark is for spirit to ask yourself, what is spirit trying to show me? What is the creator, the most high, trying to show me in this moment? And how is this leading me to a life of how I can return to whatever it is that spirit is guiding me to? And the truth is, we're all being led, guided back to what everyone here, or those that have a soul, and that's to love. All these things people are seeking, and truth is, it's like, what value does it really have if it's not coming from a place of love? And so that's why so much has been shaken up, because love is not in the midst of what has been created, or what, these foundations that these people brag about, these apps or social media, whatever it is. Certain things were not created for that purpose. And so a lot of things, it will serve its purpose until that moment where something is created from a place of love, divine love. So peace and blessings, sending love and light. May this message reach all divine souls and everyone around the world. Remember, know your value, give gratitude to your purpose and your journey now, and know that everything happens for a reason. And it's gonna be all right. Peace and blessings, love and light, divine clarity. Y'all, take care of you for you. Get ready. There's something on the horizon. Like, know that with endings or tower moments, or certain things are happening, or something's on the horizon, something new, something that the ego does not acknowledge. So y'all take care of y'all. Blessings. Shalom.